old and the tech. There we are. We've even got to say you're live. Okay, you're going live. All right, hopefully people have tuned in. There we go. So we can start the. Thank you very much. Thanks, tech guy. All right, so we can go ahead and start the show.
Thank God for kids when you suck at technology.
Oh, shit. Absolutely. So we can go and start the show.
We just kept looking at it. Oh.
You don't have to.
I forgot I had to do this. That's over. I just need to go to bed.
I'm good. You're good.
You ready?
Yeah. Yep, I am. Hey, you crazy motherfuckers. Welcome back to another edition of Crazy Truth About Swinging. That's right. Welcome to the very first, well, it's actually season 6, episode 258, but it's the first episode with the brand new change in the name. That's right. We're rebranding, kids. We're now Crazy Truth About Swinging, and hopefully we'll continue to titillate him and all the things we do.
You're going to use that in the title?
What?
Or is it just like, so it's on all that stuff?
I'm the host with the most cool, and I'm here with the lovely, and full of questions, wide-eyed and curious Miss Amanda.
Hey.
Okay, and you were saying, yes, we're going to use that. Well, we'll use it in all the stuff. We'll use it in the title. We'll use it because that's the name of the show, so we'll announce the name of the show.
No, I didn't talk to you. Just going to still call it just Crazy Truth.
No. I mean, when I'm talking in casual conversation, I probably won't use the official long version.
Okay.
Even when you try to hide your mouth and push it all weird like a fucking bulldog with a fucking orange in your mouth, we still know you're about to yawn. Just throwing that out there.
The thing is, I was yawning.
I know you are.
I have something in my eye.
Your finger. Anywho, so, not that finger, with your thumb. So, we are here. We are ready to titillate, and whatnot. We're up on YouTube. Hallelujah. You should be, hopefully, you're following us on the TikTok, because I'm going to put on a new TikTok.
It's following us.
It is, because it's Crazy Casma TikTok.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. You just don't put any cool videos on there yet.
Because I'm not funny.
I'm the one that was tying dog collars on last night. Weird, but they glow. It's
you were unsupervised.
No, actually, our tech guy was supervising me. He ran the camera. So it's kind of his fault.
Right.
And so after this, I'm going to put another one on. Because in my thing, I say, here, I'm finally here. Married guy, lots of fun. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
Hang in there, pumpkin. We'll get you some coffee. And so after we get done with this, I'm going to put one on in the studio with the Crazy Truth logo in the background and say, have you figured it out yet?
Gotcha.
And go from there. See how it goes.
You know, I'm kind of glowing.
Really? Could it be a tired glow or just an excited glow?
Something in my fucking eye glow is what it is.
It's your friend. I think we're talking about this. Okay. So we are here. So we're going to get on the show. Quick shout out to our sponsors before we begin. Actually, we've begun. We've only just begun.
I was going to say
thank you very much. You can. Absolutely. You can.
Nope.
We love you too, Cody. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, we're also live on YouTube. We're also on live on our Facebook page, the secret one. Shh. Casba Inc. Don't tell the others. And we're everywhere. So there you go. Anyway, so shout out to ASNLifestyleMagazine.com. 3 million readers can't be wrong. If you want to know what's going on in the adult world, that's like the porn world. And if you want to know what's going on in the swinger world, that's like our world. We're actually have feet in both worlds, actually. That you need to be reading ASNLifestyleMagazine.com. Penises, pussies, whatever. We need to be reading ASNLifestyleMagazine.com. Make it a habit today.
We have feet?
Good. We have feet, and they straddle things.
No, in it.
Well, yeah, they straddle. They straddle the lines. I'm thinking. Anyway, unless your feet are in the air, then they can straddle the air rights to it. Anyways, just saying. So, anywho, don't forget you can also vote twice a day. Twice a day. Why did I say it twice? Because it was twice a day. On ASN Lifestyle Magazine Awards.com. Vote for us. Best retail shop, Full Swap Shop. Best supporting business, Full Swap Radio. And obviously, best trade show, convention, or expo, Crazy Winter Nights. The only 2-time winner of that award in the ASN award history. So make it a third, please. And we wanted to give a big shout out to SmokinMeatBarbecueTreats.com. Remember, it is barbecue season. And you know what? Plain meat cooked is just burnt dead animal. But when you put a rub on it, it's a tasty dinner. And SmokinMeatBarbecueTreats.com is the place to go to get one of 5 different flavors. You can get hickory dust, lemon pepper, SPG, orange mango, habanero, or pineapple paradise. This is a company that is owned by people that are in the lifestyle. Support them. Smoking Meats, SMOKINMEATS, BBQtreats.com. Finally, you like to fuck, I like to fuck, we all like to fuck, because that's what we do. But nobody likes to have to swim in the after spool of jizz, and you don't have to anymore when you get your No More Wet Spots blanket. Machine washable, machine dryable, doesn't make that noisy crinkly, crinkly, crinkly sound, and it's designed for bodily fluids. And don't forget to put full swap in the promo code to get 10% off your No More Wet Spot blanket.com. There you go. Okay.
They're all gone.
Oh, so much shit. Okay. We all need some flavor. Yes, we do. People should be. I don't know. My personal suggestion would be not to rub the orange mango habanero on your meat. That could burn. Just saying.
The lemon pepper's a little bitey.
Right. Especially on cock or pussy.
Yeah, it might burn a little.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to get in your eyes. Don't snort it. It's for your meat. Yeah. These are all important things.
My favorite's hickory dust.
It is hickory dickory dock.
And you know what? I don't smoke meat, but I season my.
No, but you sure suck it.
I season my chicken with it when I cook it.
That's another code word for clit. Anyway, so no. So first up on yes, obviously we did change the name. So we're hoping more people can find us easier, and so we've reached that point in our podcasting career. We originally did Crazy Truth, so you wouldn't necessarily know. You had to be in the know, and now we're at a point we don't care. It's important that people know where they can find us, so we're happy to do that. Hey, we got somebody. Beth is over on Twitter. Hi, Beth. So, all right.
That's not Twitter.
I mean,
that's YouTube.
YouTube. I've been social media like a motherfucker today on this whole name change thing. It's been a motherfucker, to put it mildly.
You did a good job.
I've been on like 8 different pages. I've learned more shit today than I ever thought. Man, my age should learn about technology. So there you go. Techie.
Sounds like his father.
Yeah, sure do. Okay, so tonight's show. These are one of these shows that, again, yep, we fuck people, we have fun, all that fun stuff. But this is a show where we can actually fucking, in theory, that we can actually fucking, we're going to tackle something that's very, very poignant and very, very true. Okay. It's going to be a fun one to talk about, I'm just saying. So, here's one of the cool things about the lifestyle. Would you agree? We have not practiced. Well, I know well, that's why you don't answer yet. Slow your roll there. You're like the one on Family Feud, and we just said that, 100 men were surveyed, and you yell and answer. Not yet. Wait for the question. Yeah, well, with it. You're excited. That's
smart.
That's good.
No, I was being a smart.
I know, but for being so sleepy, you're doing good. No, don't touch it. Look at. Okay, so anyways,
it's so good. You don't ever touch me.
So what is my problem? So part of the lifestyle, right, is you discover, in theory, and learn new things that you like, new kinks, right?
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you learn things you didn't know you liked? Have you learned things that you liked that you didn't know you liked in the lifestyle?
I don't know. Have I?
Well, let's see. At one point in time, you said, "Why would I ever want to fuck anybody but you?" And so now you like to fucking fuck people. So I'm gonna go with maybe.
It's not really a kink, though, is it?
If you ask somebody if you ask a Puritan, they're pretty fucking kinky. Okay. They're pretty fucking out there. So the thing is that obviously, and everybody does, and that's part of it, right? There's an exploratory process of the lifestyle. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
But with growth, especially when you are older, remember the whole thing, old dogs, new tricks, right? And most of us in lifestyle would be considered an old dog of some variety. Mm-hmm. Older, mid-range dog. We know we like our belly scratched, but we don't know what else we like, type thing. Mm-hmm. But when you start to learn new shit, what happens is that what I want to talk about is dealing with what it's like when you find new shit that you like. Because you hear it all the time, and I think those who've been in the lifestyle a long time have forgotten the way you first feel when you do fuck somebody else for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think back for a minute, right? If you think back and you think back to the first, seriously, I don't even think our first one. Think back to the first time it was good. Okay? Where you got railed good.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm talking about the two other couples.
That you pick
Okay.
whatever one that you think is the first time you felt like it was really, really good for you.
Okay.
Okay? Was there a little, how did you feel afterwards? Or did you feel anything? And there's no right or wrong answer. If you fucking even vaguely say, I'm trying to steer you as God is my witness, I swear to God. Did you feel anything afterwards? Other than euphoric, my pussy throbs.
You know that me remembering that far back is really difficult.
Okay, picture it
but yes,
closer.
I do remember that it was fun. How I felt afterwards, probably in some type of euphoria of some variety.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, excellent. Real quick, Brandy says, surprised. I like primal play and degradation in the bedroom. Awesome. Thank you. You lead me right where I want to go. So, did you feel any, or can you, if you can remember, you can't, that's fine. Again, I'm not leading for an answer. Any sort of guilt or any sort of, even just weirdness for liking it?
Mm.
Okay. Some people do.
Well, but you have to. People need to understand that I am probably the most vanilla person in a bedroom.
Right, which is what makes it even funnier. The experience you're talking about is the first time we were supposed to be with one couple, and they turned into three couples total, and was something completely off the charts we'd ever done. So,
yeah, that's the first time I've been spit roasted, grabbed by the throat.
So the ironic part of then for you, and this is ironic, really, is that someone who did say, "Why would I ever want to fuck somebody else other than you?" When you got into lifestyle, started to fuck other people, you had no problem with it, no guilt, no anything. So obviously that means you were completely, in my opinion, you were mentally ready when that happened. You were totally 100% okay with it. Yeah. For the most, I mean, obviously, you had worked through anything like that ahead of time.
Well, we hooked up with one other couple that was a disaster.
Right. Well, and even that time, did you feel? I mean, that time was such a disaster. I don't know if anybody felt anything.
No, the only thing I thought was erotic, but only watching somebody else fuck because we didn't fuck anybody the first time.
No, I just rolled around. Yeah. So
that was more of a, oh shit, I can't believe that just happened, and what the hell happened, but it wasn't anything of regret or remorse of any variety.
Right. So what is awesome about this is important because it was, again, we talk about it all the time, it's a choose your own adventure, right? So there's not necessarily right or wrong. Everybody feels different things. Has there been any point in time that you can think of, you remember, that you did something, not in terms of breaking rules, something totally, we were all okay, but that there was any part of you that went, ooh, felt a little guilty, felt a little, I don't know, felt dirty, felt a little, or just had a weird feeling about, like you had to work through it a little bit in the aftermath.
Not that I can recall.
Okay, so you've been
there
pretty
might
okay.
have been something somewhere that I had to work out.
But for the most part, pretty much okay.
But that's probably more been like threesomes that I either had to work out.
You had to work out. Okay, look, here's a good example. Maybe this will be one that will. And I'm not, understand. So everybody listening, I'm not trying to catch her in something. Just when you started hooking up with your boy toy.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time you had hooked up, were going to hook up with a guy. You were told it was all okay. And come to find out it wasn't okay with a significant other. Remember that?
No.
From your school that sent you a letter about being a home wrecker.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I didn't feel guilty about that. I'm like, his fucking loss because how dare you do that to me?
But your opinions on cheating and whatever, what the level of expectation changed as we went through the years of going, that's their responsibility versus feeling like it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's awesome. Some people are going to be just like you. They're not going to have those issues. You also spent 20 years saying no. You didn't want to swing, and then you were willing to try, and that was hot.
But you also have to understand the way my mind thought. since I was young that sex meant love, meant an intimate connection. So to actually disengage that, it was a different.
Which is what makes it even more ironic that you had no guilt afterwards with any of them.
No,
Because
because you're just like, it's just sex. Sex is sex. It's not anything intimate or anything like that. And believe it or not, if I could.
I am the greatest fucking salesman in the world.
No,
Because
then I was able to disconnect that to where it was just this physical being, this physical act of.
Yeah, but see, what I was actually the one saying it. There were times I had issues with it.
Yeah.
That's what shows what a great salesman I am in this scenario.
Yeah.
But the reality, a lot of people did have like I had, which was there's times it's like you can feel a sense of I don't know if it's guilt. You have to work through it in your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is going out of comfort zone. And one of the challenges is that if you're somebody like you that does not have a problem with it, it's hard to understand. Not you specifically, but for some people, it's hard to understand people that do have a real problem with it, that do have to work through a guilt factor.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, in the lifestyle, there is, as you're going through the learning curve, there is a guilt factor for a lot of people. And for some people, it's early on. It's easy to forget that when you've been in it as long as we have, right? Because now at this point in time, just fucking other people, well, yeah, okay. So what? What's funny is as you start to develop and start to find kinks that you like or whatever, it can re-engage that. You've never found a kink that you have that's engaged that's triggered that for you.
Mm-mm. Trying.
So, do you think shooting porn will? You shot some porn. You shot some porn, but I mean hardcore porn.
I don't know. I've never done it. I've never done it, so I don't know. But when we first were camming, that was a turn on to have other people watch.
Right.
Okay. So you could say I'm more in the voyeur
exhibitionist.
Yes, that one.
Right.
So I'm more on that side because I don't have a problem traipsing around naked. I don't around my house. I'm not a nudist by any stretch.
It's because you have kids and that kind of kills all that.
Well, no, because usually I'm always cold and I don't want to be cold.
Right.
You put me on the campground and it's hot outside. I'm naked.
Right. Right. So will it be different when you have to fill out an I-9 and get a check?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think that might trigger it a little bit different?
Mm-hmm. No, because I'm actually able to disengage all that shit. I don't know why.
You can at the time, but will you be able to when you get the check? That's
check. I'll be excited as fuck.
And the money on the
I have a specific bank account for porn money.
Yeah, but it's not the same as going at, well, it is. I mean, whatever. So, okay.
I call it porn money.
It will be interesting because, again, most people can't do that. A lot of people think they can. Most people cannot disengage that far.
Mm-hmm.
They can't.
I believe it.
Well, good. All you have to do is watch people.
Have you ever felt guilty?
Yes. I told you I have.
With what?
A shit ton of shit.
Oh, let's start opening the book.
What? The funniest, I crack the joke all the time and say that the fact that the fucking, I begged all those years to do it and I had the hardest time with it once it started. I'm the one that engaged and pushed for it, and then I'm sitting there, I turned you into a fucking whore. No, I slut, not a whore. No, but I mean, there's parts of it. It's more now that it's went into kinks, which is why I'm bringing this up because okay, so the world, according to Cole, the first part is that I want to get the message across that it is normal to have those type of feelings. Like there's nothing wrong. I think some people get that feeling early on and it terrifies them.
What feeling?
Guilt. Feeling guilt. It's natural. You have to work through it. You have to look at why, and for some people the guilt might be enough that it overpowers, going forward. And that's okay. Right? That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But by the same token, it's okay to have guilt, deal with it, and then work through it. I think it's important to communicate it, especially if you're with a partner, either a spouse or a significant other. I think it's important that you communicate that guilt and why. Because if you don't, and that's what I want to, more than anything else, is like if you bundle that up and you hide it all inside of you, right? It's going to come out. It's like putting a kink in a hose. And if you hold that kink long enough in that hose, it's going to break the hose. It's going to explode. Whereas, like, if you let the kink out, let the water flow, and it's the same type of thing. If you're willing to take and talk about it, you can work through the process, whether it be it's okay, it's not okay, or whatever. But it's you're acknowledging it, right?
So what have you found that you never thought you'd like?
Oh, you know what? Don't worry. I know you're just dying to have me open book, and I already planned to just fucking spill my guts because we all love when Cole does that. Katie, I had a fantastic primal sex experience. Love the bruises. Love, but the partner was shocked by them and was unsettled by the sight of them.
I can see that.
Absolutely. So, okay, so we want to go in the book of Cole. Actually, first, before we go too far, I'm going to actually say this. I had an experience this weekend that actually is a precursor to why we're doing the show and doing this topic.
Okay.
Because one, it actually pissed me off. It absolutely pissed me off. And two, it shows it's why it's important, I guess, to continuously expose myself, which I hate doing because you never do on this show. It's just really funny, and I kind of continuously just make myself look like a tool. But
maybe I'm just really blah.
No, you just don't. You don't talk about it. That's what you do. I had somebody basically tell me that I was lying and wouldn't believe that I was actually intimidated by things like walking around naked and stuff like that. And after we have been very, very honest about that in everything that we do, based upon the fact of because of our groups and stuff like that, and a misconception of what we are, right? So what's funny about that is and the reason that I'm going to go ahead and like expose myself to a degree on this is that I think that it's very easy. We all create images. That's how you survive in life. That's a very human thing. You create a work image, you create in your family image, you create whatever. That's part of surviving. Some people are better at it than others. And I'll just be blatantly, 99% of the population, you think you're being real stealthy and sneaky, you suck at it. Okay? And somebody like me, I can see through that shit a mile away. I'm really good at it. That's been my job my whole life is sales, and I'm really good at it. But I love to sing. Mm-hmm. I love to sing. Was in choir, was in a band. I love to sing. I don't sing. I don't sing unless I have somebody. I actually have somebody who's listening now, who's like my support animal. They're like my support singer. Okay, seriously. And for years, anytime I would sing, there was a band I used to sing with all the time, right? Mm-hmm. What did I always wear when I got up there? Always had my sunglasses on, safety blanket, all the way through. Just because I'm outgoing and and all that shit, everybody is still human. So when you are looking at people and you go, wow, there's no way that they can feel this emotion or they can feel that emotion. If they tell you they feel it, don't underestimate that. It's disrespectful and rude as fuck to make the assumption that they're not human. Mm-hmm. Because to put on that image all the time, especially when you do it because other people are counting on you to. So it's like a shield. You know, you're putting out a big shield to protect the people around you. When someone is willing to allow humanity in their shield to show that, don't disrespect them by saying that that's not true, that they're faking it. Because it's as intimidating to me. We have a KSM coming up. We're going to do a naked walk again. And I'm just as terrified and just don't want to do as much this year as I did last year. But I'll have to. So it's one of those things. So that happening this weekend, it reiterated, it's like, okay, so we're going to hit on kinks because of the fact that a lot of the kinks, well, hold on a second. Brandy, you have to communicate. Sometimes you have to go at it, the pace of the spouse very much. That struggles more. I only had a guilt when he was struggling with the lifestyle. Absolutely. And she's exactly right. That's it. You have to communicate it. So The odd factor is I was raised, like for me, I was raised very, guys are very protective of women, right?
Yes.
And well, you can't say it like it's a bad thing. It's not necessarily
No,
a bad
it's not a
thing,
bad thing.
but that's my family. Is if you talk about the stereotypical, probably unhealthy version of man's man, that hits my family to a T. Guys don't cry. Guys don't show emotion. Guys protect. That. So being a guy that had emotions, everything was always almost viewed as a weak, and not a weakness necessarily, but kind of.
But you thought you were weak.
In my family, it was
Mhm.
it was a separation with it, right? So as we went through, but based upon that, there's a lot of kinks out there that I have a very hard time with. Even 12 years in, I have a hard time with. Because they go against the very nature of everything we have. And it's funny because we have a couple people talking about primal, and the reality of it is that as I'm growing, and you can never stop growing in your lifestyle journey, right? I'm finding that shit turns me the fuck on. Okay, it turns me right the fuck on. And the thing is that is the very first time would have been what, 4 or 5 or 6 years ago. The first time I told you I wanted to fucking cover your mouth.
Longer than that.
And I was terrified. I was terrified to talk to you about
To tell me, yeah.
to tell you. Because I felt dirty. I felt like it was wrong. Now, understand, we all know there's things out there that you have. There are things, signs, like if you're killing little animals as a kid, okay, but
right,
still, and there were times, and there are still times, if I do it, because the first time I said, now struggle.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun struggling.
And you know what? And I came.
That's when Amanda puts on a little acting
hat. I came, and then I wanted to die.
Really?
Then I was, quite honestly, the very first time that I said struggle, and you did, and I cut off like a fucking insanely, I couldn't look at you because I was so fucking embarrassed that I liked that.
Yeah.
So the thing, and we have talked about that a lot. And there's some things I go, I can't handle, like a lot of times I can't handle the sound of like a paddle. It just, there's something just triggers something.
Vlogging in general, you can't stand the sound of.
But as I've been playing around more and more, and I have someone that I've been playing with that is very much into the degradation, and into that whole thing, it's a turn on. And it's a very weird place for me because we were texting last night.
Okay.
Texting about it. Instagram. I mean, fucking Instagram. Now, granted, I'm on a lot of drugs and stuff, that helps.
It doesn't get drugs. Drugs don't help it.
But there's still a guilt part that goes with it. Hold on, let's read these. You feel free to read, jump in whenever. That's degradation for me. Say that to me when I'm not horny and you will piss me off. Absolutely. Larry, I would never have guessed my wife loves floggers and paddles, and that I enjoy watching performed on her. It is so, it's a challenge because it's a conflict. I always, when I would describe it, when we first started to swing, and I would describe people what it's like where you didn't have this problem, I did, right? I would take and I would watch you getting fucked, and it's like, oh my god, that's hot, but that's my old lady, but that's hot. But it's a devil and an angel on your shoulders. It is halftime. Real quick, take a quick break here. Halftime. Hey, you know what? If you want to watch Miss Amanda just get fucked silly, I do. Make sure you go and join her OnlyFans. That would be on onlyfans.com/Miss Amanda Casba. You want to check that out? $4.99. She's got videos, still pictures, all kinds of stuff, and there's more to come. And hey, you know what? If you actually have an interest and you'd like to make content with Miss Amanda, you can send us an email at crazy.casba@gmail.com and put content. and tell us why you think you should get to shoot a video with Miss Amanda. So this ought to be interesting. Huh? Yep, if you want to fuck or other. And that is open to both men and women. Make sure to check it out. And also, don't forget to check out all of our show and a ton of other great shows, top shows, and lifestyle at fullswapradio.com. Full Swap Radio, changing the way you listen to the lifestyle every day. There's an app for that. What's the app?
FS Radio.
Both on Android and Apple. Make sure you sign up today. Okay, so we're getting back here.
Okay, so Shelly goes, the empath in me gives me all the feels, but the lifestyle kinkster in me finds it a turn on. Now I understand that because I can feel a room, and there's sometimes you.
I can, and here's the thing. Here's the challenge for, I think, for me and for a lot of people is that as I'm exploring this, the other night we were fucking. You know I like to fucking joke.
Yeah.
You said do it, and I went and I had my hand there.
Just had his hand there. He didn't.
And you're like
grip.
Tighter.
Because you weren't gripping it.
And I still wasn't gripping it.
You went and then you let go.
And
like tighter. Let it go.
And there becomes the challenge. The person I have played with some is wanting and has called me out on the fact that they can tell I am absolutely holding back.
Let me ask you this: if you felt like, because now we're going to get into the truth of it all,
right?
If you felt like you let go to be able to do it, that you'd actually lose control and hurt them.
I wouldn't like just be like raving lunatic, like, and now I've actually killed somebody.
I'll show you, motherfucker.
No, but yes and no. I wouldn't lose control, like blank out, like I'm in a fist fight type scenario. I don't think like that. I think that I'm afraid as a guy and a pretty decent sized guy that I will hurt somebody, that I could hurt them. And and quite honestly, here's the other catch of it. Yes, there is a fear of liking it too much. For me, the concept of consent, non-consent, exceedingly hot to me. And I've had a couple of people that are very interested, would like to do, are in to do that scene. There are obviously huge varying degrees of it, right? Probably what I want to do is, for people that are really into it, is very, very mild. I think there's a degree of you don't want to lose your humanity to actually tie in and like that much of an animalistic thing. That, for me, I don't want to be able to like that much of an animalistic thing. Because honestly, the only thing that separates everybody else, serial killers, from the rest of us is there's a rationale that kicks in. I mean, you're natural. Humans are just animals, but to go to that level and to like it. Now, it's funny. You are not into any of that shit. Call me daddy, any of that crap, out completely. And for whatever reason, doing it to someone my own age is not near as appealing to me as it is doing it with somebody younger. Okay? I don't know why, but it's true. This is all part of this kinks. Is weird to figure out. So as you learn this and you're trying to figure it out, there's another challenge. I'm trying to figure it out with someone substantially half my age. That becomes a challenge. That becomes a challenge. There's just, and I think a lot of people, everybody's kink is different. Than what they have to deal with is different with that. But the biggest thing is, I guess part of the message is to make sure if you run across somebody and all of a sudden they react negative, they're triggered, whatever, what do you want to say, to something that's going on. Whether it be like if somebody's starting getting their ass flogged, you're going to watch them get up and walk out. And like if you try to hound me to stay, I'm going to politely tell you no. And if you don't quit, I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Like, because it will send me to a place of rage that's just not okay. Yeah. So the thing is that to be understanding when somebody else goes, no. And I think that's one of the challenges with some of the kinks is I'm a firm believer some of those things need to be done. They need to be very much done in a private setting. I understand that's one of the challenges. Some of those kinks is a public type thing, but there are some things that need to be done
Yeah, but you never know what's going to be a trigger. So to go to a club that you know has a dungeon and you're going to hear people getting their ass beat.
Right.
Why would we go?
Right. At that point in time, we wouldn't go, okay, so this guy, I'm very much a kinkster. I never knew I would love to be spanked and bruised left on me as much as I do. Dan, any kind of kink or anything that deals when it comes down to the communication, which is very true. And yes, I think that
If I want you to come faster, I'll call you daddy.
right. I don't know that would work as much now.
Probably not. I don't know. I don't do it.
The thing, yes, there is a degree of don't put yourself in a stupid situation. I mean, but I think that when you, I've been very fortunate that when I have talked to you about my, just like doing the cover of the mouth thing, whatever, you've been open and receptive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may think, you know about everything that's good, the kinks and whatnot. You think it's weird.
I humor.
It
does nothing for me.
No, but I mean, like as we can talk about the kinks and stuff, there's that, we can talk about that. We have that kind of communication, and it's not judgy either way. We may ask questions to understand it better from each other, but it's not a judgy thing. The scary thing is there's a lot of fucking people out there that don't have their partners aren't going to be as open.
Could be. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. This is part of the challenge with bisexuality for guys is that some spouses aren't going to be. Some people are going to lose their shit. Or some women would be like, "You want to do what? You want to do consent, non-consent? Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that can fucking go, really, really quickly." Okay, I'm getting behind again. Shelley, the root of it is why do we perceive our personal kink as bad? And that's very true. Absolutely. Well, I don't think, Brandon, I don't think of it necessarily as bad, but I feel there is a right place and time for my kinks. Gotcha, yeah. Larry, as much as I enjoy watching it done to my wife, I'm not comfortable doing it to her simply because I don't know enough about it to do it myself. So why take away the pleasure because of lack of knowledge? It's her kink, and I'm not taking that away.
We know several husbands that can't do it to their wives.
Yeah,
they go to somebody else to do it.
I couldn't even do some of the things that I've done with other people with you. I couldn't. Shelley, yes, agree, but why feel guilt? I think that the guilt is almost. I think it's a human trigger. I think guilt is
because you're enjoying something that you've always been taught was wrong.
Right. I think it's like a speed bump in a mental speed bump, so that you slow down, you ponder it, you work through it, you understand what it is you like about it, and you understand right place and right time.
Well, and there's a lot of times in your mind you can go, I know it's okay, but then there's something underlying that keeps it from being. That just nags at the back of your head.
For me, it keeps it away from, I know that you're okay with putting my hand over your mouth. And I don't do it all the time, okay? But I also then, in turn, the speed bump of it is what makes sure you slow down to think, and you don't make the assumption that as swingers we hook up with other people, that this other person is just automatically going to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if your kink if it's legal, it's okay. But the reality of, again, it's not okay if you're just walking through the mall, right, and you just walk up to somebody and just fucking choke them. That's not okay. I mean, you have to know your body, I believe, and your mind is going to try to help you make sure that to keep fun and fantasy here, and still be able to function here.
The other two couples that we hooked up with, that was the first time I ever had anybody put their hand on my neck.
Yes.
Now, granted,
it was
I wasn't scared about it. Mm-mm. I wasn't terrified he was going to hurt me, but I've never had anybody do that before. He didn't grip it hard by any stretch. He just put his hand there. I've never had it done before.
Do you think you would have been scared? That night was such sensory overload.
No.
I'd also never seen a man's nutsack that big before in my life either. That fucking thing was the size of a hefty bag filled with water balloons.
No, but there was a sense of comfort.
Yes.
So I wasn't concerned. If there was any type of edginess, I would have gone, fuck no.
Right. Okay, so let's go back to guilt for a minute, because I think that's a good point, and I think this is just strictly my opinion. At some point in time, if the guilt doesn't go away, then you need to reevaluate. Mm-hmm. Here's the deal. At this point, I may laugh sometimes if you really do a good struggle and I really come hard because of it. Mm-hmm. I don't have that guilt. I can't look at you. I don't. We're past that. I'm over that. I understand what I like. I understand ish.
I'm not gonna struggle harder to hurt myself.
Right. I understand ish why I like it, or I'm comfortable with liking it. Let's put it that way. I truly believe that if it doesn't ever change, if you're doing it, we've been doing that for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. If I still have that kind of guilt with it, then maybe there's an underlying issue that we need to resolve. That needs to be resolved there. Mm-hmm. And I think that, and again, there's a difference between guilt and excitement. Whatever. I mean, I think that needs to go through. The lifestyle, no matter how long you're in it, as you continue to explore, you have found different things you like now that you never did before. We, in all the years we were married, before we swung the lifestyle, you had never been turned to the side and fucked that way before. It never happened. You had never.
Even having a guy up on his knees while fucking, I've never had.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
We only knew missionary and doggy. Get on top and run.
Once we find a new one, then we do that for like 8 months till we fucking tried something different. You had never fucking had your head over the edge of bed sucking a dick. No. Not until we were in life. We found new things that we like. That's a natural part of the lifestyle. I think it's a natural. I think that's one of the most healthy parts of ethical non-monogamy is that these are things that are floating in your body. It's like mining for gold. You're mining and you're mining and you're mining and you find these things. It's like, oh my God, and this brings happiness, this brings joy, and it's not a built-up pressure that can explode in some weird fucking way someday out of the blue. And I think it's part of the human experience, and that's a huge plus. But anytime we talk about it all the time on the show, when you level up, when you do something you've never done before, you start from the beginning, and you have to re-go through it. We all have made the jokes, daddy issues, call me daddy issues, whatever.
Yes.
But but as you actually are doing it, when you get in that situation and that relationship, it's a totally different ballgame. Mm-hmm. It is a totally 110% different ballgame than I mean, and it's weird because it's almost, and everybody's experience different, but for me, it's almost like a role play thing. I never believed in role play. I thought it was no single fucking world. I was stupid. Why would I be into that?
Well, now you found it. Times I dressed up in a 50s little outfit and made sure
but we
that
didn't.
I had dinner ready and a drink when you got home.
We didn't do and it was awesome, but we didn't do hardcore fucking go get in our theatrical, dressing room outfit of fucking 1,000,001 outfits to go change into, and tonight it's fucking Shakespeare on the Green shit. We did not ever go that far. It wasn't our thing, and so part of it is look, maybe it's interesting because like the age gap thing. There's a part of me that wonders now as I'm processing through this. Mind you, I still like to fuck people my own age.
Right.
But there's a hot factor going the other way. In my brain, I sit there and go, is it because you want to know at 50, 51 years old, you can still appeal to somebody that age? There's just a lot of different things with it. The lifestyle, believe it or not, actually, I think if you're doing it right, will make you think. It lays out like story problems in your brain. You need to figure out how many apples are on the train while you finger bang the girl to Detroit. I mean, you got to figure this all out. It's a puzzle that goes through, and if you put it all together, it's fucking cool. It's awesome. Here's the other interesting part that I think will be interesting with my kinks, and this is part that it's kind of a big, brave new world out there, and it will be funny to see. It's always been for me, my journey, my experience. It's one thing for me to experience and do something and be okay with it, right? It's quite another when I see it done to you.
Okay.
So, and here's what I mean by that. Let's just like shooting porn. Okay. Let's say that hey, you're gonna work with these people, and they're gonna. This is a scenario they're gonna play. It's gonna be, it's gonna be rougher, but it's not, within your guidelines, obviously, but it's rougher than what you and I would normally do, or rougher than what I've seen somebody else do. More like what I'm some of the stuff I'm doing now. What will be interesting, honestly, is for me, how will it be when I see it with you? Because it's not something that we're gonna do, and and even knowing it's controlled, but it's like, because that's always been my MO through the lifestyle, is that I love watching you get fucked. It's hot as hell.
But some of that you have to understand is acting. I probably won't enjoy it.
Okay, Grant, I understand that, but I'm going to say this to you because you're the one that said, why would I ever want to fuck somebody but
because
you?
you're getting protective.
You don't know that you won't enjoy it, and there's nothing wrong if you do. Whatever, rock on.
Well, it depends on what they do. I have no idea.
Right, but obviously, that's what I'm trying to say is that just like the first time watching you fuck, it was hot, but it's a mind fuck. Mm-hmm. So what will be interesting is if the roles are reversed, if you like the same kinks that I do, and you like it, but me watching it, you would have zero problem. You have it with me if you had a pre-set up in a porn shoot situation, because hey, everything's pre-set up. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things, he's going to cover your mouth, whatever, the whole 9 yards.
You're going to be okay with him doing it.
It is what are the emotions it's going to trigger me? Because honestly, that's the other catch with kinks and all this in lifestyle when you have a significant other, is that, in my opinion, it can't be okay if you do it to me, but let's say you love that, I really like that, that's hot as fuck, and me not be okay if somebody else does it to you, or working through and dealing with that whole scenario. Because part of the guilt I felt when we first started doing this is that, like if you would have a bad experience, I felt guilty because I'm the one that found you to be in this lifestyle.
No.
It was all part of the learning curve. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
To the people listening, does that make any sense? Somebody say something in the casual group, so I know this makes sense. Everybody's cool listening. They're all fucking right now. Just pay attention.
They're all fucking.
Or something.
Sure
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a one-way camera. I don't get to see.
Are you sure?
Just saying. I just think that it's like, here becomes the bigger question. How do we, Shelley's listening, thank you. How do you help people? That's really what I think that's really a bigger part of what it boils down to. How do you help, in the lifestyle clubs and all this shit, they have orientations and first time orientations and how to walk through a swingers club and how to dress and how to everything else. But what's out there and how do you actually help lifestylers actually deal with the guilt? Because I believe, and not that the way for you is wrong, just how you were able to handle it differently. I think the majority of people have guilt when they first get in lifestyle.
So it's about like having somebody get over buyer's remorse.
Yeah, but with that is tough shit. Deal with it. It's yours. You're a fucking owner. You just have to be a dick and go, well.
No, but you still have to work it over in your head.
Right, but so how is the lifestyle? The question is, how is the lifestyle? Could we help people? I mean, what could a group do? What could Casbah do as a group?
Teach them soul searching. I don't know.
Well, I'm just curious. But I mean, maybe it's so much. I think the interesting part is everybody does how to or what it's going to be like before anything happens. You go to a new club, so you go through. Here's the thing. So maybe what's really important. And hey, everybody who listens that copies all my shit, if you try to put out something, because I'm totally gonna fucking have my lawyers in grass because I know where you got it from, dicks. But it's like maybe what it is that you need to offer a class a month after they fucking had their first hookup. You can't come to the class until you've had at least one experience, and then we go after and try to help you deal with what you're actually what you're actually feeling.
Yeah.
Because honestly, think how many people are. We had great communication. We still have great communication. We have always had great communication in our marriage. And there were still times that it was hard for me to tell you. It was 2 years before I finally had guts enough to tell you that I wanted to do the hand over the mouth. Literally 2+ years. And we have great communication. I knew there was no doubt that you were going to be like, fuck you, get out. I mean, there's no money to do that. Yeah. But, that's it. So think about the people that don't have that. And how easily that can skew their perception of the lifestyle, and how much it could fuck up.
Or what the one spouse is thinking, the other one is thinking when they're not thinking that.
Right.
Like when you go, was that okay? Yeah, it was fine. It was a lot of fun. You're lying.
Yeah.
You didn't have fun. I did. It was a good time.
No, you didn't.
Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm sure. It was a good time.
And now I'm pissed.
It wasn't a good time. Look at the way you're acting.
Okay, wait. We got to go to Larry. For us and us only, if there wasn't a little bit of jealousy, I would have to question our relationship. I agree with that completely. Shelly, this is already what this channel is teaching and doing. I wish I would have had such honest discussion 20 years ago. Brandy, I have a journal for each individual in the relationship with questions and how each experience made them feel. Well, that's cool. Really be open to the ups and downs of finding your boundaries, and it's okay to take a step back every now and then. Keep communications open and
see more.
Keep up communication open and check in each event. So yeah, it's it's the meme.
Which one?
The meme of the husband and wife laying in bed, and she's laying there. I bet he's thinking about other women. He's like laying there, I wonder if Batman's nut sweater. What I mean? He's like that. It's that fucking. This is why the lifestyle can be so great, but it's also the exact reason why the lifestyle can be so dangerous.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is as close to like, I can't think of anything else fun that's super fun to play with that's just dangerous as fuck. I mean, I guess it'd be like, hey, let's play,
with dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna juggle dynamite. This is fun as hell until it drops you and lose your fucking nuts. I mean, it's just swinging is that. Again, it's every time it's a test of relationship. It is amazing, and what I think is mind-numbing is the fact of how many people will dodge and avoid. They will get to the point of getting their spouse or asking their spouse to swing and fuck other people, and they'll go through all the rest. But then when it comes to the inner things, they can't bring themselves out of the conversation. I look back at how silly it was for me to wait 2 years to be that intimidated to ask you or to talk to you about it.
Yeah, but that wasn't even something we'd ever seen before.
No. Which made it all, well, that'll tell you I've lived about 3 years in the marriage, wasn't it? Hey, how would you feel about, I mean, you weren't even sucking dick yet at that point in time really consistently. Like, yeah. That'd been a birthday thing. You can choke me out on your birthday. No, we didn't even know how to do that right.
No.
Thank God for Bones making sure I didn't kill you somehow. When we thought we discovered something new. Yeah, that'd have been weird. Well, slipped and fucking choked out.
You can't do it that way. You have to.
You can kill her. What are you doing? Oh, I'll be damned. Yes, ma'am. Oops. It's part of the learning curve. I gotta figure, and I honestly, I'll put this out here. How do you figure out how hard? God's honest truth, I have no fucking.
Everybody has their own limits.
Right, but apparently, what I figured out is I have great control. This is what I've been told. The exact quote was, "You had a great wind up, but then it came in soft." I don't. Apparently, I pull back.
Tighten up, buttercup.
The problem is that here's the thing. It's easier to go, harder. Okay. This is like when you negotiate a car deal when you're selling something. Whatever, if they want 20, you want 20,000 for the car, right? But they pay 18,000. Whatever, if you come back and you say, great news, I'll do it for 18.5. You own that number. You can't go up from there. You're fucked. Okay, this is the same thing. I want to spank my ass. Okay, here's the deal. If I come in and just fucking whap, oops, that was too hard. Great. Now we've got handprints. Now we've got a problem. Now you've done fucked it all up. If you go too soft, you can always work your way up, right? But if you come in, there's no like, hey, I'm sorry, I just broke your hip. I didn't mean to do that. My bad. There's no going backwards from that. You know what I mean? That's just, you know.
And this is why it's so important for this channel. We all started somewhere, but to know most of us have the same basic questions. The venue does a great job of addressing this.
Well, I can tell you this. I need somebody to fucking gauge my fucking whack factor because.
Not it.
Because, okay, so.
I mean, you've smacked me. I don't care for it.
And I don't fucking, I actually pop your ass harder.
Every guy likes to just pop an ass to hear it pop, I think.
I actually pop your ass harder in the store when you have jeans on than I do when we fuck.
Oh.
You know, that, I mean, I'm just saying. But let's say hypothetically to like slap a face lightly. I'm like, remember to take your rings off. After that, I'm fucking clueless with it. Yeah,
Especially if they don't want marks. That's kind of confusing.
I'm gonna be it's gonna be more like I'm tickling your face. What's gonna happen? Well, that's what it's gonna be. I don't know. I don't know. There you go. So hey, great. Once again, if you tune in each and every week to Crazy Truth about swinging, you can just absolutely find everything about my. And you wonder why I'm gonna go use my TikTok and let me know that I'm a swinger on there. Are you serious? Why fucking not?
I don't give a shit.
I know you don't. Just saying, you know. Here's my vagina, but you know, there we go. Awesome. Anyways, well, folks, I hope you found this week. It's different. And I hope you're all excited about the new name change. We certainly are. We're excited about the new. There's gonna be other new imaging stuff coming out very, very soon. I hope you guys are excited. Crazy. There are still spots because I'm just losing my mind for Crazy Summer Nights. Don't forget we have one in June 9th through the 11th, as well as Crazy Summer, which is the Melee edition. Miss Amanda's trying to win the contest, as well as Crazy Summer Nights August 4th through the 6th, which is the Hotter Than Hell edition. That wouldn't be mine. If you would like to get a spot, you can go to crazykasba.com, or you can actually send me an email as well, crazy.casba@gmail.com. We can help you out and get you a spot coming up quick. And if you would like to be a sponsor for one of our events, we would love to have some more sponsors for our events. Please, if you'd like to be a sponsor and get incredible exposure both on our social media, on our show, on all of our events, reach out, crazy.casba.com. Put sponsor.
Crazy.casba.com.
Crazy.casba.com. No, crazy.cam@gmail.com. Fuck. Or you can go to crazycasba.com and send an email to there.
I had to pick on you because I'm like, crazy.casba.com.
That's why we don't have sponsors. They're like, he keeps even smart enough to fucking say it. If you would like to be a sponsor, and we sure would love to have sponsors, get great exposure on our social media, on our shows, on our websites, reach out to us, let us know. We are absolutely, promise you, doing things that you can't imagine. We've got a couple new sponsors going to come on board, so please, we look forward to seeing you. So, with all that being said, kids, thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely, lovely Tuesday night. Can't wait to launch the show on Thursday. Doing it the only way I know how, the only way I want to, and the only way I ever fucking will. Casba style, out.
Bye.
Sorry, we had to wait until we were getting the